What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Isaiah here. And in this video, I'm just gonna go over what I took away the most from this book. I just finished this book about maybe a week and a half ago, and this book has completely changed the way I negotiate and everything. And this book will tell you that everything in life is a negotiation. Whether you're trying to get your kids to clean their room, or whether you're trying to get a raise from your boss, or whether you're trying to make an offer on a property, even if you're like asking a girl out on a date, like everything in life is a negotiation. And the way you word your sentences and the way you come off changes everything. And so there's a lot of big takeaways in this book. Now, I'm just going to go over what I learned most from this book. So the main thing that I learned from this book, which really changed everything, is empathy. When you are negotiating with someone, when they feel that you have empathy for them and their situation, everything changes. Everything changes. Now it's like you're on their side. And I noticed this in real life. Like, whenever you're trying to get somebody to do something for you, if you're trying to influence somebody to do something, you trying to preach to somebody or tell somebody what they should do or what they ought to do, or tell somebody the consequences of something, is only going to make them resent you. It's only going to make them not like you, right? If you really want to get somebody to do something, you have to have empathy and you have to let them know that you understand where they're coming from. Negotiation is very emotional. Negotiation is all emotion. It's no logic. Like sales is just all emotion, straight up. People make impulsive decisions all the time based off of how they're feeling. Maybe 10% of it is logic, but like 90% is just all emotion and like what they want to do and like what problems they have in their life that they're trying to solve. The main strategy is to like implement empathy when you're negotiating with someone. It's called a summary. So when you're negotiating with somebody, you want to understand where they're coming from. And then basically in a nutshell, you want to repeat that in a summary and get them to say, that's right. Let me give an example. So I wholesale houses, right? And so this lady is in a distressed situation. She has this property. Nobody wants to buy it because it's priced way too high and it's just a mess. It's in a flood zone, all that other stuff. Well, come to find out, the reason that she wants to sell the house, she wants to buy an RV so her and her husband can travel the country. And so I find out how much the RVs cost. What's the price range of the RVs that she's been looking at? I dig all those questions and you just give her a summary. Okay, so basically the price of the house doesn't really matter as much as you just need enough money so you could get this RV, or at least pay the down payment for the RV, and it'll cover the monthly payments. Is that right? It's like, yeah, that's right. And once you get them to say that's right, it's like a game changer. It's like now you're in their head, like now you're on their side. And so now, all right, let's get this money for this RV. And so the next step, I was like, find out what are the down payments for the RV. You know, if you have to finance the RV, what's the down payment? What are the monthly payments going to be like? What's the cheapest RV that you could get? What's the most expensive RV that you're looking at? Where are you willing to compromise and meet in the middle? You know, so she was asking $100,000 for the house, but the RVs are 40 to 60,000, and she's turned down offers for 70, 80,000. So now I know that she just needs money for her RV and maybe like $5,000 on the side. Now that I unearthed that and like I gave her a summary of her situation and what's going on, one, I built a whole bunch of rapport, and two, she feels like I'm on her side. So give a summary whenever you're negotiating with anybody, whether it's, let's say you have a friend, for example. He's like getting into a lot of trouble. You want him to better his life, right? Instead of you going up to him and saying like, bro, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, like you're tripping. You know, you tell him that's just gonna make him feel worse. But when you come with empathy, or you ask him questions about like, what's going on? Why are you, what's going on in your life? Or why are you acting like this? Or how are you feeling right now? Or like, how's your life? Whatever, you ask calibrated questions, which is another strategy in this book. But the point is, you dig deep into what they're going through, and then once they state their situation, you listen. The best negotiators are the ones who talk very little, and like when they talk is very powerful. So you listen to what they're saying and you give them back a summary. You're like, oh, so the reason you've been flashing out lately and doing a bunch of things, or the reason you got whatever, is because you just found out you got this girl pregnant and you just lost your job and you don't really know how to handle it. Plus you have abuse at home. Is that right? And they'll say, yeah, that when they say that's right, and you hit the hit it on the spot, like that's a breakthrough. They probably break down, start crying to you. And then when you tell them like, look, I'm here, I understand. Let's work through this. Let's solve these issues. Let's get you on the right path. That is going to convince him way more likely to change his life around or do whatever, versus if you just tell him like, bro, you're tripping, like you got to get your crap together. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So number 2, accusation audit. So this strategy is basically you lay out all of the worst things that they could possibly think about you. So basically in 8 Mile, right? Eminem, when he was doing the rap battle, what he did was an accusation audit. That's funny that I'm just thinking about this, but that's exactly what it is. He basically did an accusation audit on himself. He basically said everything that he could possibly say about him first. So he ended up choking. Eminem won the rap battle. Great movie. Go watch it, 8 Mile. But another example is like, so if I'm gonna say something that sounds harsh to somebody, let's say my coworker. My coworker is doing something that bothers me and I want to get him to stop, right? Instead of saying, look, I hope I'm not sounding like an a-hole, or look, I hope I'm not bothering you, or whatever, just be like, look, you say this instead. You did an accusation audit. You say, look, I'm probably gonna sound like an a-hole, I'm probably gonna sound rude, but do you think you could stop doing that, da-da-da-da-da? And what that does is it takes the accusation away from them. You're already saying, look, I'm gonna sound like an a-hole and I'm probably gonna sound rude. And what that does also is it makes them think like, oh, you're not being an a-hole. It just totally takes it away from them. So one example he gives in the book is when he's doing a negotiation class, he asks somebody to come and volunteer for his demonstration or whatever of negotiation. Well, instead of asking, does anybody want to volunteer, and just waiting for people to raise their hands, he goes, I'm gonna need a volunteer. I already know it's gonna be uncomfortable. This is gonna suck. But the ones who are willing to do it, those are the ones who are usually my top students. Now, does anybody want to come up? And then like everybody raises their hand, because he already brought out like the worst case scenario, which is it's gonna be awkward, it's gonna suck, and you're probably not gonna be good at it. So he said that. He's like, obviously you're not gonna be good at it and it's gonna suck. But the ones who do it, they're my top students. And that made them, like, everybody wanted to come up. So accusation audit, those are really good examples. So the last thing is calibrated questions. Calibrated questions are questions to get them to do the work for you. Let's say I'm selling a house and I have somebody come in to make an offer on my house and they give me a lowball offer. A calibrated question would be something like, how am I supposed to do that? Or with all of this going on, how am I supposed to do that? And it makes them think like, how are they supposed to do that? And then it makes them try to figure out a solution for you. So, and then calibrated questions always start off with how and why. Not why, how and what. So what makes you think that? Or how am I supposed to do that? Or what about this do you not like? Or what about this do you not understand? Those calibrated questions, one, they get people to open up a lot, and also they make people think. How and what questions get people to think all the time, bro. And that is like a game changer. So there's a lot of other things that I learned in this book, but those are the 3 main things that I took from it. Well, I guess 4 if you count empathy. So empathy, I guess 5. So empathy, always have empathy. Let people know where you're coming from and let them know that you understand and you understand their situation. 2, listening. You have to be an active listener. If you're going to be a fire negotiator in any realm of human endeavor, you have to be an awesome listener. And 3, summary. Always give a summary and get them to say, that's right. You know, so listen to what they're saying. Remember to have empathy and then give them a summary. So say it all back to them in a shortened version and get them to say, that's right, you understand. And then number 4 is accusation audit. Say the worst case scenario or state the worst case scenario before they even have time to think about it, right? And number 5 is calibrated questions. Questions that start with how or what. So that's what I got. This book is amazing, you guys. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. I highly, highly recommend this book if you're in sales. But even if you just want to learn how to like get more out of life, this book is amazing. It has a ton of strategies that I did not go over, but those are the 5 main that I got from this book. So yeah, Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. If you got any value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I upload videos weekly talking about my wholesale journey and my self-improvement journey and just life in general. Stay motivated.